Hi, come and join me for Life Over Coffee with Torrie. Welcome to Life Over Coffee with Torrie. This is part 2. In part 1, we about sorting. We actually talked about the aspect of mindset. Okay, this time we're going to talk about about an area that is really, really hard to sort out, and that is clothing, wardrobe, drawers, all of that stuff. And one of the challenges with it is like, where do you start? Now, I've got the mindset that I want to downsize or I want to sort what's in there. And unfortunately, there's no other way than doing it, and that is pull everything out. Yep, pull everything out. Start with the wardrobe and then tackle drawer by drawer. You've only got so much space on your bed. I mean, let's face it. Look, when I was younger, my mum had this huge wardrobe, huge double wardrobe that took up a whole wall. And she kept stuff like you wouldn't believe. She kept memory clothes. And we do, we have a degree of memory clothes that we actually keep. We might keep a wedding dress, good coats, fit or not fit. There's working clothes. When I decided to stop work or finish the job that I was doing that I did for 20 years, I worked in an office and I needed to have smart office stuff and I needed to look at that. But it all led to a story. And part of the story is, and I'll let you know about the story, and that is when I decided to do this. Let's go through the wardrobe. It was about 3-4 years after I finished work, and it sort of looked like I wasn't going to be getting another job in admin. Would I really need all of the stuff that I had? So I went through it piece by piece. Some clothes had been given to me. Some clothes were great. But now that I had not needed office stuff, I needed more smart casual stuff. And then I also needed stuff that I could be just home with and dag around in. And then I needed working stuff. And that working stuff was about gardening or painting or, messy stuff. But the thing that I found hard to tackle is that when I was working, I would have at least two of an item. So 2 jackets, I had to think, I don't need 2 jackets. I'm not going to be wearing both of them in the same week anymore. 1 jacket, girl, that's all you need. Pick the colour. What is it you want? In that 3-4 years, I changed shape. I changed size. I changed freaking everything. Um, Actually, yeah, that's a story all by itself. But I needed to think. I pulled out every item, and what I did was I made a decision. Just hang on one sec. Had to cough. All right. So I had to make a decision about some of the clothing, and some of it was it just given to me and I just put it in the wardrobe thinking I'll wear it and find a purpose for it? Never did. Is it something, why haven't I worn it? Because did it need some zhuzhing to it? Did it need to be adjusted? Did it actually, I'm a V-necked person. Was this a round neck thing? These things I learnt over time. What really suits me? Is it something? Is there something about it? So I got rid of a lot of stuff. Same with pants, work pants. How many, what was daggy that I should get rid of, which would have been okay for work for a little bit longer, maybe 6 months, but why have I still got it? I'm not wearing it. Just keep the good stuff, the better stuff out of the stuff. The stuff that was like middle of the road, can I repurpose that? Can I wear it out? That if I make a conscious thought that is a go-to everyday pair of whatever. And there was a lot of different types of thinking about what was in my wardrobe, because what I wanted to achieve was not only downsize, but being realistic about what was in my drawers and my wardrobe. And even though I tried the strategy for every item that I bought, I got rid of two of the same type. I bought a t-shirt, I got rid of two. to replace that new one, because you know what, you're going to go for the new one all the time. Your older ones, they sort of get, a bit lonely in the drawer. I'll give you some strategy about that in a second. So with that, then I just did the other part about it, how things come into the house. And clothing's a funny thing. Right. My uncle used to say that a sale is not a sale unless you need it. Okay, that's strategy 1. Strategy 2 was a sale is just another way of saying we are open. Strategy 3 was if I wasn't here to see this item, would I miss it? 9 times out of 10 you wouldn't. Unless you're looking particularly for something for a special occasion, or you're actually topping up because like all of your long sleeve t-shirts now, God, I can't even tell you how old this one is, have now time for them to, bite the dust. Either they're too small or too big or whatever. In taking on that challenge, in the fact, once I analysed what I was doing, I took a challenge of no purchasing. I thought to see how I actually would go. How long could I go without purchasing? And that wasn't just about clothing. And that wasn't also about shoes. You know how many pairs of shoes I got rid of? When you're working, you have a shoe that goes with that. Hot weather, cold weather. No, I only got one pair of feet. They're either, sandals, sand shoes, good shoes, slippers. We can get carried away. But I also took the strategy too with my cosmetics, my toiletries, creams, powders, whatever. I went through those as well, and they were part of my non-purchasing. How long can I go without purchasing? How well could I actually wear my clothes out before I needed to go shopping? The first 6 months was a bit tough because, you see stuff and you go with your friends and they're buying up, oh, why don't you get this? That looks nice on you. If I wasn't here, would I miss it? Do I really need it? I'm on this challenge. 6 months came along. Actually, I tell a lie. 6 month point, I did actually go to a clothing exchange. So I got rid of a couple of things and I bought a jacket for being a marriage celebrant. Well, I didn't buy it. I just exchanged. So maybe I did a little bit in that bit, but otherwise I did really well. All of a sudden I got to the 12-month stage and I thought, oh my God, I've done 12 months without purchasing anything for me. No shoes, no makeup, no toiletries, clothes, nothing. I made it to 14 months and then I had to give in. I think I had to buy underwear. I think that might have been it. Because I had so many pairs of underwear I didn't realise that I actually had. And then I went through them all, wore, elastic, that whole thing. So you can do it if you've got some strategy. Part 2 of it too is to keep the momentum now. And once you've done your sorting, this is what I do, okay? So the end of every season, now we just come through the end of summer, and I will go into my t-shirt drawer and I'll pull out all of my t-shirts, singlets, whatever, and I will pull out and refold what I've actually worn during that season, because you only wear 12 items. Yeah, 12 items per season. My God, you just rotate and rotate and rotate. How often do you go to the bottom of the drawer? Not very often. So I then have a look and see how many pieces of clothing that I actually did a Chinese square box fold. If you look it up, you can see it, Pinterest, whatever. So it's actually folded into a square and folded into within itself. Now, obviously, if that item is still folded, you've not worn it. Why haven't you worn it? Think about it. Is it because you've not had the occasion? The season hasn't been right. This year was totally different summer than it was the previous year. So I work it out. Now, if I can't justify the reason why I have still got that item, out it goes at the end of summer. And then I will fold up everything that I am keeping, And then I will start again next summer. So now I'm going into my winter stuff, which has all been square box fold, t-shirts. They're square box fold and they're all put upright so I can actually see them. And I'm actually going into my jumpers, and I will do the same. Stuff that I wear now, I only fold stuff, and then as I get to the end of the season and when I do my refolding, then I can actually see what have I worn, what have I not worn. I know there's time for, maybe not this one because it's a bit of my favourite, but there is some tops that are time to go. And if I'm really, really thinking one more season, which I've done with a couple of my t-shirts, I have put an X on the label going last season. Do one more season, and at the end of that season, that's to go. Regardless of what it looks like, it's time for it to go. So that's part of my strategy, and that's part of how I look at my clothing now. So I do understand people who actually go op shopping and that, and they're going in and they're sort of, 9 times out of 10, they've got a sort of semi-idea of, what sort of things they're looking at. And yes, there are some bargains, and that's fantastic. But do you really need 3 summer dresses? Do you really need it? What's in your wardrobe that you're prepared to get rid of because you're going to be putting these new items in there? How many coats do you need? How many whatevers? Some people seem to be able to do it easily, others not so much. Can I do a clothes swap with a friend, which I did this season, and I got rid of quite a few of my tops that I've made a decision that don't either sit properly, or because I've lost weight, they're off the shoulder, they're not right anymore. Time for them to move along. And I think I took in 5 mid-season type shirts, and I like them. I really, really like them. And I know that I'm going to get the wear out of them, even if I get the wear out of them for another 3 or 4 more seasons. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to have the money in my pocket more than actually dishing out. I'll only spend money on things that are either unique or they're going to be extra special on that, for whatever the reason is. Now I'm not going to be a marriage celebrant anymore, within a few short months. I might actually start wearing that blazer in a different way, not just keep it for my marriage celebrant stuff. I'll start using it in a different way. 12 months time, if I don't wear it in a different way, then obviously my mind thinks it belongs to that, and I will move it on because I've worn it for the last 8 years or something. So clothing is hard. Shoes are even harder. How many pairs of shoes do you need? As we age, women tend to come down in heel, and that more than stay up heel. Oh, God, I'd love to wear a pair of stilettos. If I could balance in them, that'd be nice. But we tend to go for more comfort than we go for discomfort. Gone are the days that I have the pair of shoes that look good on the feet, but they're not for walking. No. I'm not going to put myself through that discomfort anymore. So this is clothing sorting, all right? This is just this part. We're going to do another one talking about some of the other odd things, but think about it. How long could you go without purchasing? And can you put the challenge to yourself to go, if I wasn't here, would I miss it? Can you, regardless of the sale, would you prefer to have that $25, $35, $100, $150 in your pocket to spend in a different way other than a piece of clothes that might give you 2 hours pleasure in every 4 months? No, not my cup of tea. This is Life Over Coffee. We're going to do another one about sorting. I hope you've enjoyed this and it's been helpful. I'll be back with you. This is Life Over Coffee. Thanks for watching Life Over Coffee with Torrie. Don't forget you can subscribe or leave a comment. I'll get back with you next week.